Hey all, Pixel here from Probable Garage. I am in the van at a U-Haul because I'm about to go pick up some dumb car parts for a maybe might not even happen project, but they're so cheap I'm gonna go get them anyway. Also, I have the bumper from the Oldsmobile in here because somebody was interested in the Oldsmobile. It's relatively close to where I'm heading, so I might be able to sell the bumper to him. If you don't know, I'm based out of Rhode Island, and right now I am heading to New Jersey, Califon? I have no idea where that is, to pick up the front end, like cowl forward of a 1942 Plymouth, plus whatever else I can snag. Basically, the guy is gonna scrap it. I think it might be, we'll find out when we get there, I think it might be a Woody car with the body all gone, but it's hard to tell from his photos. But he wants $200 for the entire, like, cowl, chassis, engine, everything. I don't need all of it, but I'm just going to pick up the, like, cowl forward and maybe some odds and ends, because it might be useful for a project I may or may not be doing down the line, and if not, it's going to be useful as yard art. So for $200, sure, why not? But I got to drive to Jersey for it, and because I don't want to haul the whole thing back, I've got all kinds of saws and stuff so that I can get it off the frame, and he's totally fine with me leaving the whatever I don't want behind for him to scrap. It has the original 6-cylinder and stuff, but apparently it's all just like locked up and messed up. And apparently the metal on this is pretty bad, so it's not like, it's not really, I'm not cutting up a restorable car. It's basically just like, this thing is trash, but it might make good yard art, or maybe it might make something good for like a ratty thing. So yeah, and then somebody's been interested in the bumper. I offered it to him for $1,000, but he wasn't entirely sure. And I basically told him, hey, I'm going to be driving to Jersey. I'll sell it to you for $500 because I can use the space in my yard if you'll meet me wherever I am in Jersey. And he's interested, but he asked me where it was, and I haven't heard back from him yet. So I might drive that back home, but whatever. But yeah, now I've got 4-something hours of driving to do before I get there. I made a quick stop off at Harbor Freight to buy an F-ton of Sawzall blades because I realized I hadn't checked, and when I checked I had 2. So I don't know how much of this I'm going to be unbolting and how much I'm going to have to cut apart, so I just bought a bunch of them. And now I got to find an ATM because I just realized I don't have money to pay the guy, and then I'm back on the road. And we're here, and this is what I bought. This is the front of a Plymouth 42 Plymouth Convertible, because there's the latches. It was turned into a doodle bug at some point. And basically I'm buying all of the sheet metal and stuff, and he's keeping the chassis. So now it's just a matter of tearing it all apart. One side done. It's not hot so much as it's just muggy as hell. I am just drooping sweat. It's actually going better than I expected. A lot more of the hardware is coming loose than I anticipated. I think I'm at like maybe a third, if that much, quarter of them that I need to cut off, which is, I expected to just have to cut everyone off. I had basically resigned myself to, yeah, I'll probably gonna have to disassemble this with the Sawzall. I'm very grateful I bought the extra Sawzall blades though, because I've already broken like 4 of them. I've also cut myself here, gave myself a mother of all blisters that then immediately popped there from the Sawzall. So this is what I'm left with on this side right now. There's still a bunch of bolts holding this to the radiator support area. If I can just take that off as a unit, I'm gonna. I just don't know where it's secured. This I'm not bothering with. I had to cut one over here, I think. One on the filler panel. And then 1, 2. And I kind of cut some of this, and then some of it was just literally tearing it out of the sheet metal. So, all things considered, oh, that's the one I had to cut from the filler panel. So all things considered, it's coming apart pretty good. Obviously I don't care about any of the wiring, even if I was going to reuse the lights because this is all just old cloth. This is basically a fire hazard. I got to do the same thing on the other side, and then I got to figure out how this nose comes off. And then I think I'm going to take the firewall off with a Sawzall. I don't think I'm going to really even try, because I think it's welded to the rest of the structure just in the middle. Yeah, I think I can just cut across that, and then somewhere in through here I can make a cut, because I bought some really big Sawzall blades, so I think I'll be able to just kind of come through here and just take the whole cowl. Probably going to just have to cut the steering column off. I have this screwdriver, but the odds that that screw is going to come loose is almost non-existent. The steering column is attached to the steering box. I don't believe there's a rag joint in this, and the steering wheel is ruined, so there's no point in trying to save this because all the Bakelite is already trash. The dash is also trash, but it looks cool enough to try and save. I think the glass broke more recently than the photos he took, but that's fine. If I somehow integrate this into a running, driving thing, I'd want to put new glass in it anyway, just because that glass is all kind of nasty. Oh, and I'm planning to take the front bumper too. Looks like bumper bolts are here, but I'm probably just going to come in with the angle grinder and just cut it off right here, because I'm not bolting it onto this frame again, so it doesn't matter that it has the entire bracket. If I use the bumper, I'll have to use custom brackets no matter what it goes on. And then I think I'm going to try and save the hubcaps. I was going to try and keep the front tires, wheels and tires, just because I liked how well they filled out the wheel wells, but it's the Plymouth center booger welded to a wider rim outer, so there's absolutely no point in even attempting to save that. I will just photograph the, oh, here we go, LT24575R16. That'll give me the size and width of this tire, so if I ever build something and I want the tire to fill the wheel well the same way, I know what tire I need. Oh, on the subject of tires though, the rear tires are Pirellis, which just amused me. Same deal. They've been bodged together from two different rims. I don't even know what rear axle this has in it. I'm guessing that's probably the factory Plymouth one just moved up, but I actually don't know at all. Maybe somebody can ID that from the little bit you can see. He was nice enough to bring me out power. That was awesome. He also brought me pickles. I don't like pickles, but my partner does, so she'll be delighted to have some homemade pickles. All right, back at it. I don't know when that fell over, but it is stripped down. Cowl's in here. I ended up having to just saw through the cowl up here because I wasted multiple blades trying to get through the lower parts, and I tried all the bolts, tried cutting the bolts, and it made no difference. I just kept finding more. So I just decided all of this is wrecked anyway. So if I'm rebuilding this into something, I'm just gonna have to rebuild that no matter what. So the seller's off to find me a 3/4 wrench to see if we can get the bumper bolts off before I try and cut them, because he pointed out these might be spring steel and therefore not easy to cut through. But once the bumper's off and the hubcaps are off, it's just a matter of loading all this stuff in the trailer in the van, and then I can get out of here. Alrighty, I didn't film loading it all up because I wanted to be done and out of there. Overall, it went fine, except I beat the crap out of my hands. Like the injuries I showed you, I've got a couple more smaller ones, but that slice in my finger and the giant blister from the Sawzall definitely were the worst of it. But I'm also just disgusting from head to toe. I am covered in dirt and grime and grease and rust and sweat. God knows what else. It's almost exactly 6 o'clock. I got there at just before 4. So 2 hours, not too bad. But I've got like 4-hour drive home. So I'm gonna get home at 10 o'clock at night and then have to unload the trailer and then have to drop it off at U-Haul either then or first thing in the morning. Interesting, it's a different way than the way I came in. Come on, catch up. Sorry, waiting for the GPS to catch up to where I am. I will show you what I got either when I stop, because I have to stop for gas and food, or I will show you tomorrow. Anyway, though, really nice guy that I bought it from ended up being super helpful. Like, he came out and offered me pickles, which I took for my partner because she loves pickles. He offered me Gatorade at one point, which I brought my own flavor that I prefer, but that was really nice. He came out more than once to kind of check up on me and ended up helping me out a little bit here and there. Really appreciate that. He offered me a free commuter car or city car, almost the same thing. One of these things that needs a bunch of work and restoration, but it's going to go to scrap too if it doesn't find somewhere to go. I don't have a use for it because even if it was a running driving one, I would have no real use for it. But I am going to like mention it to some people I know who are into electric cars, because maybe one of them might be interested and, you know, take it off his hands. Oh god, I'm fucking wiped. Oh, the other reason why I chose to saw through the bottoms of the cowl like I did was it started raining. It stopped as soon as I finished cutting through the cowl, of course. But it's probably just as well. Like I said, the whole bottom was all rotted anyway. So if I was ever going to use it for something, I'd probably have to rebuild that just to make it strong enough to weld to something anyway. So whatever. If I hadn't been going through blades so badly, I probably would have tried to skin the front of the cowl just to get the bit where the fender fits. But this wasn't vital. Worst case, I can fab that and make it look good enough. I don't really know what I'm doing with this. I think I said that. Sorry, I'm so wiped. I don't really know what I'm doing with this, but it was mostly a, hey, that's a cool thing, that when he put it up like months, year, who knows, a very long time ago when he put it up. I thought it was really cool, but it was just expensive enough that I couldn't justify it just for the, hey, that's neat factor. And just recently, he dropped his price to $200, which is probably still a little bit high technically for what I got, but that was low enough to be like, hey, I can buy that because it's cool. And maybe I'll use it for a car project. Maybe I'll use it for yard art. I've had this vague idea for a while of taking a front end from a car like this and partially burying it in one of the flower beds so it looks like a car is like bursting up out of the ground, and then putting red lights in the headlights on a motion sensor. And I might do that with this, I might not, but Yeah. It was just too neat a thing to let go to scrap. And I need food. I didn't have lunch. That's part of the problem. Alright, well, I'm going to start driving. I'm going to try and find dinner. And I'm going to make the... Oh wow, I'm almost out of gas. I'm going to make the 4-hour trek home. So time has passed. It is now just shy of 11 o'clock. To remind you, I left at 6. This drive has been hell. I still haven't had a... Well, no, I know I did finally stop for a proper meal. It took me forever to get... Because I got on the highway from their house to the highway. There was no life. It was all just rural back roads. So I eventually, once I got on the highway, then found an exit that had stuff off of it. Made a gas stop, but there wasn't any food there. So I got back on the highway, drove for quite a long while longer until I found a rest stop that had food and ate. I was in Connecticut by that time. But that was all going along pretty good. And then the rest of the drive through Connecticut was just hellacious. Lots of random slowdowns that I have no idea why. One point where they routed me off, the GPS rerouted me off the highway and onto surface streets for a good, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes because apparently the highway was so bad. Another section where we were routed onto alternate traffic. So we were in they crossed us over into the oncoming traffic lanes and had that split for traffic going in both directions. And then another time where the traffic stopped dead, only to be informed by the GPS that the highway was closed, and I basically had to get off and take this very winding route to just basically go one exit further ahead. I am finally back in Rhode Island, but like I said, it's 11 o'clock now. So I've been on the road, what was supposed to be a 4-hour drive. I'm 5 hours into it, and I still have the better part of an hour to go. I am completely exhausted. I am completely wiped out. I am so done. And I just want to go home. But when I get home, I have to empty the trailer, drop the trailer off at U-Haul, take a shower because I have grit everywhere. Oh, that's another thing. The gas station I stopped at, I used their bathroom to wash like my arms and hands, my face, and I was so covered in stuff I made an absolute mess out of their bathroom. I tried to tip the guy behind the counter $5 as an apology and he wouldn't take it, which I still feel bad about because he didn't see the bathroom before he refused it. I tried several times. But, this is all my fault. I took this on myself. Oh, God, I'm yawning. I don't remember if I said this at the beginning or not, but my trailer, as I noted in the video about the engine for the Oldsmobile, I discovered the wheel bearings were just, the grease had gone bad in them and they had rust pitting on them. And I repacked them with grease just to be able to deliver the engine and transmission to the shipping. But I was not going to leave the state of Rhode Island with the trailer in that state. And with all the car crashes and all the other stuff and whatnot, I forgot to order wheel bearings. And then this whole opportunity came up. So I finally was like, oh hell, I need those wheel bearings. I ordered the wheel bearings. And of course, as Amazon often is, the one thing you need to get delivered quickly is the one thing Amazon informs you they're not going to deliver quickly. And basically we're like, yeah, we'll maybe get these to you on Sunday, which is today. So I was like, okay, I won't do this trip. And then I realized the next opportunity I had to do this trip was going to potentially conflict with even more stuff, so I just wanted to get it over with. you know what, I'll just order. So I woke up this morning and being like, I'll just go to U-Haul and rent a trailer. It's not that expensive. So I contacted the guy, but because it was first thing Sunday morning, he didn't get back to me for a while. And he was a little cagey at first about me coming down. He wanted to know sort of when and whatnot. So I couldn't leave until I got a solid yes from him and his address. So like I threw tools and stuff in the van, but didn't go rent a trailer until it was a definitive yes. So because of all that, I didn't get on the road until after 10, which pushed everything back. The actual process took the amount of time I expected, but there's just been all these little slowdowns that just kept extending the time. And since the drive part itself, if it had all gone perfectly, with no stops, was already 8 hours. I was already looking at a long day. And now it's just so much longer. But I am making my way home. I will be home within the next hour, barring some new disaster over the next rise. And I think I'm calling out of work tomorrow, or at least going in late, because this was all a big mistake timing. I don't regret going down there, I don't regret getting this, but man, I gotta value my time more sometimes. I gotta plan better. I gotta be more willing to say, hey, maybe this isn't the best idea, let's put it off. And by the way, I still have the 56 old bumper here because that guy couldn't coordinate to meet with me today. There's another thing that if I had pushed this off, I might have been able to arrange that as well. So sometimes I don't make the best choices, but at least my life is entertaining. So I'm just very entertained. I'm here at U-Haul dropping off the trailer, and it didn't occur to me that it's the first of the month. So every other U-Haul on the lot got returned as well. All of them after hours. The entire lot is just full of badly parked U-Hauls. I tried to get to where the trailer was before, and I literally couldn't because of how they've parked all these U-Hauls. I left the other door open. So yeah, it's just like, I don't know why this amuses me so much, but it's just like, this is the return line after hours. Technically the trailer's supposed to be either over there or over where I got it from, but I can't put it, I don't want to put it in this line and make somebody's life harder. And I can't get to where it was before because it's so full of cars. So anyway, it's the last bit of responsibility. Now I can go home. So I was going to do a cool final bit where I reassembled it in the yard to show it all to you, but it is pouring rain today. So here is my half a kit for a 1942 Plymouth Convertible. A couple things rattled free on the drive. The most important one being the little emblem on the front piece, but it was all in the trailer, so it's safely stashed in the bin-o crap over there. Just like before, I have no idea what I'm doing with this. I literally had no plan. It was just a really neat thing that I decided I wanted. So for the immediate term, it's going to sit here in the pouring rain. In the short term, it's probably going to get either stacked neatly somewhere or possibly reassembled enough to look like a car with some zip ties and bolts, and then, you know, displayed somewhere in the yard just as an object of art until I figure out what, if any, long-term plan I have for it. Sometimes you just want cool stuff. But that's going to be it for now. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.